The topic is giving. If you happen to be watching this in November or December, it means the peak giving season is upon us. Seasonal fare such as Dickens' Christmas Carol is on the television. Christmas music is dripping from the speaker systems of stores everywhere. It all implicitly urges us to spend on gift giving, but the holidays also trigger feelings of charity. Consequently, your incoming mail is full of pleas from charitable causes, although that's more or less the case all year round. There's just lots more of it. This is well and good, but the problem is that giving is triggered as a reflex rather than as a thoughtful, considered act. For instance, during the holiday season, your classic soup kitchen type charity is inundated with offers of help. The result is if you volunteer, you might get a one-time 15-minute slot on a late afternoon. After all, they're not in the business of turning you away. But what happens the rest of the year? During the great days of February, they need you too, not just during the feast days of November and December. In May or August, any hands-on charity would appreciate you for 3 or 4 hours at a crack, or even all day. Money in June is just as welcome as money at Christmas. In other words, giving should happen all year, not just during a seasonal gush of compassion. It should be part of who you are. If your preferred style of giving happens to be an annual or semi-annual basis, consider keying it to your birthday or some other personally meaningful event, not just the feel-good holiday season. And if your giving is continuous year-round, God bless you. On the other hand, don't burn yourself out with scattershot donations to each and every charity that sticks their hand out. I once had a phone number that obviously belonged to a restaurant for a while, and for the first year I received many calls asking for donations. It turned out that the restaurant would toss $20 or $50 to more or less anyone who called. Maybe it was a deliberate PR move, but it felt more like a compassion tax. My policy is that I never donate over the phone, ever. Charities that preferentially use the telephone for fundraising are questionable, in my opinion. My advice is to create a short list of 3 or 4 causes that you actually believe in, then give to them regularly and meaningfully. If your thing is dog and cat rescue, have at it. If it's starving children in far-off places, hey, do some good. The important thing is not so much what your particular choices are, is that you're doing something. My current personal list has 3 preferred charities. One is a disabled veterans group, but I preferentially give to just that one, not the others who also send me letters. Presumably those are good too, but I can't be all things to all people. I think I do more good by giving meaningfully to my short list than I could with token amounts to everyone on a huge list. Here I'll give a shout out to the charity called Mercy Ships, based in Texas. They operate hospital ships that travel the world, providing free medical care where even basic services are hard to come by. They often visit certain parts of the Caribbean and Africa. Yes, there are similar organizations, but this one happens to be my choice. Pick one of your own, but pick one. The final charity on my current list is the American Cancer Society. They were so kind and understanding and selfless when my first wife needed them that they will always have my support. They earned it. Now, many charities sell their mailing lists as an additional means of raising cash, and I don't blame them. That's probably why I receive solicitations from other charities that deal with cancer or veterans or medical care. When I give to the American Cancer Society, that covers the topic for me. If your preferred cause is something more specific like breast cancer, more power to you. Have at it. Don't define giving solely in terms of credit card charges and checks written. Sometimes a morning or afternoon spent packing boxes or swinging a hammer is the better way. And don't let it all be organized. Informal giving, such as mowing grass or shoveling snow for someone who needs it, counts. And sometimes what is needed and can be very important is simple kindness to others, especially those who are not used to it. A few years ago, my employer of the time had an overtly coercive annual campaign to sign everyone up for contributions to an organization that I won't name. I'll just describe them as a central charity that gives to other charities. The intent was to sign everyone up for automatic donations. They were annoyed when I refused, which ironically required signing a form. In response to the pressure, I pointed out two things. First, I was already donating a bit north of 12% of my gross income directly to causes of my own choice without their help. Thank you very much. They couldn't exactly accuse me of not believing in the concept. And second, not every charity on the list was one that I believed in or cared to support. The fundamental flaw of outsourcing your giving to a centralized organization is precisely the emotional disengagement. You need to believe in your causes. Therefore, you should choose them yourself. Without that, so-called charities are reduced to a merely mechanical act, and in the case of payroll deductions, an automatic one. You need to feel that you're doing good, not just check a box on a form, trusting that someone else will do all the work for you. Now for a message directly to charities. I am not swayed by loot. Please stop offering tote bags and t-shirts. Yes, they're logoed and advertise your cause, but that's not the essence of why anyone should give to you. Please stop sending me tchotchkes intended to trigger guilt for having them, which I'm then allowed to assuage with money. I have more address labels than I can use, more small notepads than I know what to do with, more greeting cards than I will ever need. I get letters with coins in them. I've gotten small blankets, calculators, pens, calendars, flashlights, medallions, certificates of appreciation, gloves, and even socks. None of that is persuasive. Tell me what you do. Convince me of the worthiness of your cause, and I can give without wasting good charity money on sending me any of those things. Charities that benefit the rich are not the topic here. Examples include the arts, sports teams, and other cultural pursuits, and elite schools and universities. I can't knock that type of philanthropy as such, but it's not in the same mold and does not serve the same purpose. I give to the universities I've attended, but a lot of elite philanthropy is about embellishing the world as it is rather than making it a better place. It's of a different kind than what is meant here, and neither kind is a substitute for the other. Beware of fake charities. Good ones pass 80 to 90% through. Fake ones tend to exploit the moral panics of the moment, spend most of the proceeds on themselves, and pass through barely enough to still qualify as a legal, if crappy, charity. Most avoid committing outright fraud, but those exist too. I encourage you to research your potential charity choices and follow your heart. Web-based resources for research include the Better Business Bureau Wise Giving Alliance, Charity Navigator, Charity Watch, all one word, and Candid.org. Thank you, and good giving now and all year round.